Hey, y'all, what's up? Night 1 WrestleMania. I haven't watched WWE consistently, like I've been saying, since Backlash of last year. It's fell off of me since then. I watched my favorite PLEs, which y'all know, Royal Rumble has become one of them. Money in the Bank used to be one of my top 3. Up until, I didn't even watch last year. I didn't care. And it's not even due to Money in the Bank. It was because Backlash and everything after Backlash threw me off so much I couldn't watch WWE no more. War Games and Elimination Chamber will always be top 2. I wrestle with Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank. This year Royal Rumble has sucked. Outside of my girl being, all 5 of my girls being in it. Well, 4 of my girls, because Bianca was injured. 4 of my girls being in it. Jordan, Soul, Liv, Roxanne, and then Bianca's been my girls. But I watched night 1 of WrestleMania. Okay, so the first match was, and for me, if I was at my big age, if I was a wrestler, like, I know it's cool to headline WrestleMania, whatever. For me, like I said, and I tweeted, if I'm wrestling, I want to go first. Get me up out the way, especially depending on where we at. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 years ago, being in Philly when it was cold as hell outside, and it's open area. And that's why I said, if it's going to be somewhere like WrestleMania, somewhere, if it's going to be an open dome, it needs to be somewhere warm. If not, y'all need to save SummerSlam for the northern states and keep WrestleMania for the southern states, just based off of temperature. But I want to go first, because later on in the night, depending on your location, it's going to be cold. I don't care about main event and nothing. You hear me? And I might have, if I was younger, but once I would have been like 3rd year in, I'd be like, all right, because you mean to tell me I could go first? I'm not nervous no more. I could chill and watch everybody's match. I could take a shower. I can go back to eating. I can get my wounds. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know if I'm doing an interview or not, because they say they're going to tell people till last minute, I can get a little toasty. You know what I'm saying? I can get a little sauce with some drinks, libations, or whatever you want to call it. And if I'm tired because they don't get no sleep this whole week, and I can sneak out, I'm going to watch the rest of the matches in my hotel room. Okay? If I can't sneak out, I'm pulling a Roman Reigns, and I'm getting a blow-up bed. And I'm going to watch it. If the TV's in the locker room, I'm watching it on the TV. And you know what I'm saying? Like, or I will watch it later on that night or this morning. I was kind of surprised that they had it at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Time. I was about to say the wrong word. But it ended at like 10, which I feel like is better. Because had we started at 8 like we normally do, it ended at midnight. And then on top of that, these niggas, sorry. These people got to come back at like 11 o'clock the next day. No. And then I think they have like WrestleMania parties or something like that. Like last year, the day of WrestleMania, I can't remember if it was that Thursday or that Friday. Some of the celebrities had to show up to like tickets of WrestleMania parties and stuff like that after WrestleMania. No, not at all. So the first match was the Usos and LA Knight versus Division, which was Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and then IShowSpeed. So the Usos come out with their gear. Shout out to Sarath if he did it. Because most of the time I know he does, I know he does Logan's gear and I know he's done Jay's gear. But I know sometimes with like the designs and stuff that Jay and Jimmy had, sometimes Miss Sandra or Christina does it. Like I follow the gear people now because I'm here for the looks. Outside of the storytelling, I'm here for the looks and I'm here for production. Okay, if you don't know me by now, hey, welcome. Okay, so, and they had my 3 favorite colors on. They had on lime green, they had on a burnt orange looking color, and black. Okay, they had my 3 favorite colors on. But what throws me is, okay, so I know they had a song version because I wasn't watching. I heard it though. I just went online to listen to it, and people didn't respond to it well. But my thing is, before we get into the match, why would you remix a remix of a song? I know people love the Jay Yeet thing, whatever. And when him and Cody won the tag titles, he had like just debuted his song. And it's the remix to the original one. Down since day one-ish, we've been down since day one-ish. Line them all up, knock them down like this. Like, they might not say that no more. They say every once in a while in their promos. But then he remixed it to, it's just me. Ooh, same beat. So now you got a remix of the remix because now you got Jay saying, it's just me. Ooh, and then Jimmy going, day one-ish. Like, y'all could have did it down since day one-ish. Let's get it. Something like that. And then here with the, yeah. When they do that, have everybody yeet. So you didn't have to redo the song again. But if you wanted to, instead of them making you, cool. If y'all wanted to. But if y'all actually had the original, should have went back. Well, technically it's not the original. But the second one, you could have went back. Because I heard that one y'all tried to display before this one. It was trash. And people was like, go back to the down since day one. And then some people was like, hell, I wouldn't care if y'all went back to I'm on top of the world. My son loves that song. Down. I don't know. Like, he got a little free Spotify page. And he plays, like, Christian hip-hop. And he'll play some regular hip-hop. And then, like, he'll play some wrestling songs. And that is one of the songs. He'll play that version. And then he'll play Jey Uso's, It's Just Me Us. And some other songs. But I'm like, okay. So, they come out. Crowd, you know. And overall, all of the matches did seem a little short. But they might not have been that short. They might have been a standard 15-20 minute match. But then I don't know. It might have been 20 minutes, but by the time everybody comes out, it might have like went down. Or maybe they gave them 30 minutes and by the time everyone comes out, it goes down to like 25 minutes because everybody got to do their entrance. And then whatever might happen at the end of the match before the next people come out. But I will say, yeah. And also speaking of that, attendance, follow my brain here. I'm a little ADHD. I have a little ADHD. So they was talking about John Cena hosting it. That had to been for ticket sales. Okay. Because somebody was like, it don't look like it's empty to me. I said, well, I Googled how much was in attendance last year. It was 61, almost 62,000 for night one. This year is 50,817 people. That's 11,000 people. So all the people that's there, they either had them intertwined seat fillers or whatever, or the people that was up in the nosebleeds came down to make it look more full because you're missing 11,000 people worth of seats. Or they took out seats on the floor to make it look like it's full. Because you see, they didn't zoom out a lot. Normally, like with like WrestleManias in the past, when they come back from commercial or something, they'll use a drone app and zoom out a lot. They ain't do that. Okay? Go outside being in people's face like that. That's nasty. Okay, sorry. But like, yeah, and somebody say, it looked full to me. I said, yeah, because the camera not zoomed out. I know how this works. 2, I said, I said, people that buy pre-sale tickets, probably like green shirt guy, the black lady, Trinidad shirt or flag guy, the guy that dressed like Randy Savage. They there all the time, okay? They gonna get their tickets first. But I'm like, them tickets were expensive as hell, especially last year. And I said, I know they had a discount on tickets because I would have got a decent seat for LJ, my son and I, and for 2 nights. And that's when they had the weekend. It was no taxes. It was $1,000. Last year, those same tickets would have ran us $3,600, and that was for 2 nights. That wasn't for no one night. So when Punk did that promo, I didn't watch the whole thing. I heard about it, about tickets being expensive. Hell yeah, they're expensive. Vegas expensive as it is. And like a lot of people said, Tony Wrestling Reacts, I follow her on Instagram. She said, had y'all kept it in New Orleans, I guess because they didn't want to pay TKO this outlandish fee, it'd have been sold out, and it would have. Because she said one thing about people in the South is we gonna come out, and it would have. And it would have. And y'all need to have it in Charlotte and stop playing. Because I could drive to Charlotte 2.5 hours. I would drive every day. I got people there, but if I can't get no hotel, I would surely drive there. Also, yeah, so between that and then between Ram paying 25% of people's tickets when what's the name said it last Friday, yeah, it's going to, and then I said, and then the rest of the people that come in and get tickets last minute, they get them from the wholesale people like Vivid Seats and Seat Geek and all that, who can't sell these tickets. They buy these tickets thinking they're gonna turn a profit. They put them for an outlandish price, and then once they don't do that, they be like, I'd rather have some of my money back than no money back. And they'll sell them. The tickets might have been on sale for $500-$600. They might sell them for $200. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the tickets get sold. But they still was under. Okay, so LA Knight came out. He came out in a Ram truck. Honestly, they always got him coming out in some vehicle. Last year or 2 years ago, he came out in a Slim Jim truck or something. One SmackDown, he came out driving fast as hell. Okay. I saw him on Nightcap interview, and I said he not beating the allegations. When they announce him, when Alicia announces him, and she goes from LA Knight, I said that nigga is from Maryland, and I'm gonna say, let me tell you something. Him showing up a couple years ago at Logan's house, him showing up at, was it Theories or IShowSpeed's house? IShowSpeed's house, and beating him in front of the thing. That is a Maryland move, okay? I'm from the DC area, okay? Maryland, DC, all that. That's what people I know do, okay? Second of all, the way he dresses gives Maryland, okay? He came up on Nightcap, it was plain. It was regular shirt, jeans. I said, but just off the shoes alone and the accessories he had on, and like not watching, I said, that's definitely he is definitely he is not beating that, okay? So he come out, he takes off his jacket, that's his Spanx or whatever they call it, the wrestling drawers, whatever, the back of it says LA Knight, has the same stuff as them. So then the Vision come out. So now they coming out to Logan Paul's Humble, and they drop the curtain, and then they're facing with their backs faced. And I was like, first, because the camera is showing them. So I was like, what? And then they zoomed out and showed her. I said, oh, their backs are, and then they turned around. And I was like, why Speed got that cape on like he's Superman? But that's what he want to do. I'm gonna let him do it. I think Saroff did Logan's gear. I'm surprised Logan didn't come out in some extravagant way. I guess the other two either said no, or he wanted to come out collectively. Sorry. And so they make their way down. Second of all, before I get to that too, Cena, when I said Cena, they must have been there to sell tickets, because all he did was introduce and say hello, and then he did the attendance. Also, even though it was a year ago, he done slimmed down hella much. I don't know If it's the clothes, I think it's the clothes. I think it's the clothes that they wear. Because you can't tell me that this man, so when he was gone 2 years ago, he came back. He was smaller because normally him and Rock was like about the same. You can tell he came back smaller. He was slimming down. He was doing more yoga, this, that, and third versus weightlifting. This thing gained a little bit more weight than he did last time. This year in the suit, he slimmed down hella much. And then they combed his hair over enough to, in the boss spot, they probably put a little brown spray there to remove. But I'm like, he don't even look like the same guy that won the 17 title here a year ago. Okay. So they fought. The match was good. My prediction was the Vision was going to win. Only because Logan is a hell of an athlete. People sleep on Theory. And I thought he was going to use the brass knuckles and Paul Heyman was going to do something to distract him in order for them to win. They had Speed going there first. He did the backflips and stuff and then cheered, and LA let him get his, off, and then he went on about his business. But they end up losing because of Theory. Theory is the reason why they lost. Because Speed was trying to do something, I think, to LA Knight or one of the Usos. And he missed and hit Logan. Theory got mad and thought it was on purpose and ended up attacking Speed. And then he got caught and ended up losing the match. So because of that, I think Logan and Theory had attacked him after that. And so Speed was just in there. So after that, and also between that, when LA was beating them up, they was yeah. And then when Jay was beating him, it went to yeet. So the Usos and LA Knight ended up winning. And then they ended up 1D'ing Theory. They ended up beating up Logan, holding him down. Theory, Speed did a super I show splash right on the table, and he came down like this, and they caught and see if he got. First of all, Speed did good for him to have a small amount of time to learn how to wrestle. If he keeps it up, he could be great if that's what he wants to do. Just like Corey and Autumn said, Logan has opened up the gate, basically. For people that go from influencer or streamer to wrestler, if they dedicate the time. Because after Logan came, some celebrities would come like once or twice and do some stuff like Dennis Rodman, Hall of Famer, or like Tyson or something like that. But they don't come back often. The only other person that came back often and did it for different promotions and could do this full time, and he was on the wrestling show on Netflix, Stephen Amell. He could do it full time. And then they said the way that Zac Efron dedicated his time to learn the craft when he was doing that wrestling movie about the brothers. I forgot the name of the movie. It's not my. They was like, he moved so well because they had actually wrestlers changing him, and he picked up so quick that if he wanted to switch over and become a sports entertainer, he 1,000% could become one. Like, them two are the only two that don't continue to do it. That's real well. But Logan had opened up that door because now Jelly Roll is used to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he built up Cali. IShowSpeed has done it. You can't even call Logan an influencer no more. You just call this man a wrestler who happens to own Prime. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what impressed me about the I Show Splash was, first of all, not only the way that he did, but production. Okay? The way y'all drone aerial viewed around him before he splashed, that was the icing on the cake to me. That's what got the chills for me. Because I was like, oh. So then it ended. And people was like, well, that was too fast. I'm like, well, if you count that was about 5-10 minutes. Count the entrances, that's about 5 minutes. 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes. Then they match about 15. That's about 35 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It just seems quick because it's still daylight out. And it's 6 o'clock. Also, what happened?
The rest of them, they be calling on Snapchat.
Oh. You might have to ask your daddy to approve that app on your phone. Because I don't have iPhone no more. I switched back over to Samsung because I hate iPhone. Sorry. The only good feature on iPhone for me was FaceTime. Other than that, all the features that they're getting now, like Samsung didn't had, and Samsung makes iPhone parts. So it was no point. Samsung iPhone was originally made, it's simpler because it's made for senior citizens. I used to work for Apple and they tell us this when we work there. And I don't have to go to get my phone fixed or it slows down with every update. Like, I couldn't do that. Sorry. So the next match, because it was an hour free, but because I didn't watch on the ESPN2 channel, I have the app on Disney Plus, so I didn't have to go back and forth. I also caught it 6 minutes late because I did my prediction video. So the next match was Jacob versus Drew, the unsanctioned match. And first Jacob came out. I liked his entrance when he came out. It looked like prison bars. It comes up. He had dancers and his in their native gear, like coming out. And then he came out. His gear kind of threw me off for a second. Because I'm like, does he have on a fanny pack? Army gear? Like, what? And then in the back, it had like a tribal mask behind him because I zoomed up on it. But I was so confused because, he comes out like kind of, he walks and he turns by sideways to make sure he could see everybody. You know what I'm saying? So he comes out and then Drew's entrance was cool because he came out. They showed Drew coming out and then they showed like a brick thing and then it did the little thing like he was coming out or breaking out of something. Then he came out with the sword and he looked amazing. Okay. As soon as he came out, I went over to Tony Wrestling Reacts on Instagram because that's her guy. And I said, and I put on the comments, I said, as soon as he came out, I said, I came right over here because I know you was losing your mind. And he looked amazing. Okay. I knew this was one of the matches I wanted to see. And because my anticipation for it was so high, like the Usos, the 6-man tag team match, I knew what it was going to be. I just knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be fun, entertaining. I know they was going to have something for the kids, because back in the Attitude Era, I know most of the fans were kids. We were the kids. Honestly, in today's time, I don't know if the biggest crowd of audience are kids. Like, I think they are millennials still. And maybe because I'm in that demographic and I don't know. Like, because most kids, unless they start watching really young, at like 4 or 5, they grow out of it by the time they like 11. My son is 12. He watches the highlights. And he would rather watch old matches from like 2018 versus stuff that's going on now. Like, he saw like the IShowSpeed stuff because he watched on TikTok like highlights. He's not gonna sit here and watch a whole show. When they come here to North Carolina, we will go to a live show, but he's not watching it consistently. So that's why I'm like, the demographic has had to change. But every night or every PLE they always have something for the kids. So like the Usos in LA and stuff, that's what they were. Cause IShowSpeed, like if I didn't have nieces and nephews and a child, I wouldn't know who the hell IShowSpeed is. Or Casanat. Like, I don't know them. I don't be on Twitch. I play games on my son's PlayStation 5. Every once in a while I play on Switch every once in a while. But I'm not sitting here watching people play games. Like, I watch my podcast on YouTube first, listening to them because I like looking at body language and all that. But other than that, I'm not watching people do all that. Like, no. I might do it if I ever decide to do it, play video games and start a Twitch, but I'm not doing that. So, they came out before I think Alicia finished even announcing Drew. Jacob had attacked Drew. This was the thing that got me about this match. A few things. One, it was a good standard match. Okay. Second, the ref was in the ring, in case pinfall submission, or something like that. But when they would do stuff like get tables and stuff like that, he's talking about, no. You're not there for that. You are only there for the count. Okay? And that's number 2. Number 3, or maybe number 2, I don't know. The next thing, I thought it was going to be way more blood and more gritty as an unsanctioned match than it actually was. Like, that was the biggest disappointment of an unsanctioned match. And I was looking on people's Instagram posts and stuff like that, and people was like, somebody was like, well, you gotta remember the last unsanctioned match we had was Sammy versus KO, and it's hard to live up to that. Like, first of all, it's hard to live up to any KO match like that. Second of all, if I'm thinking unsanctioned, I'm thinking we beating the hell out of each other. Somebody leaving him bloody, a tooth missing, a finger not broken, fractured, a toe fractured, something, limping, something. None of that occurred. And then what got me for the life of me is Jacob was getting the hell beat out of him for a minute. Because when he got put through the table, I said, no, the first thing is he got slammed into them chairs. I said, I know you not. You better fight back. Then he got put through the table. And I said, well, he ain't about to win this. And then my brain said, watch him come and do one move and end up winning this match. I said, because Drew's using up all his energy and this, that, and the third. What's the name did? He got Drew on the table in the ring, did a moonsault, a twisted moonsault, and ended up winning the match. And that the win, because of all that happened during the match, confused me. Like, I was glad Jacob won, but it was confusing. I was like, my brain was like, so you mean to tell me, because they've done this, it's not just with them. They've done this multiple times with other people. And I be like, how? Like, it's no way in hell you could tell me in real life fight, if me and somebody outside fighting for real and they beating the hell out of me, and somehow, some way, and if it happens, it's slim to none. Somebody, I could throw one blast blow and knock them out and that's it. No. Because if it was to happen like that, during the process, people be like, oh, well, she got that nasty punch, knocked him to the ground. It's like, but before that, she got her ass whooped, though. Like, that's would have been the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, the end of that match, though, they leaving and stuff like that, he must have slammed him hard because Drew was down there on the ground, still catching his breath and stuff, like turning red or whatever. Must have been good acting, or he really couldn't breathe. And then I looked, they showed like Jay's story of him hugging Jacob and Jacob being like so like incredibly thankful and things like that, which was cool. I honestly didn't care who won that match. I just knew it was going to be a good match. It was good if it was a standard match with tables. They should have just had a regular tables and chairs match and just called it a day and let it be sanctioned. Because homeboy Drew brought out the wrench, didn't use it. Like, I was like, I would have brought out some tacks or something. Like, this is a match, when you say unsanctioned, would have been a good match for like Gacy from Wyatt 6. It would have been a good match for like him versus, I'm trying to figure out who would be down for the crazy. I don't think of nobody on the SmackDown roster that'd be down for a match like that. besides Gacy. Because Japan has some wild matches. I don't know. And Dragunov. Them been the only two. Them have been the only two. Like, them the only two I know that have been down for a crazy match like that. Because Dragunov bleed every match anyway. It ain't no it ain't no match if Dragunov not bleeding. It ain't a good one. Okay. So I didn't hear either one who won that. So then we had another match I was anticipating watching. So all the matches I was anticipating were like the first three, because there's 7 matches. It was 4 of them that I wanted to see. The other 3 I could care less about. Either way, I watched it, but I didn't care. The next match were the girls, and y'all know I'm here for the tag team for the girls. So the first people that came out were I was gonna say Ashley, Charlotte, because don't call her by her superstar name, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. When I tell you, Alexa came out and I had literal chills, and then Charlotte came out and I was like, oh my god, because I said Alexa's makeup and gear looks so good. And then Charlotte came out and I said, oh, she got wings too. And somebody was like, it's like a moth and a butterfly. And someone was like, no, it's like, and I was like, it's giving Wednesday Addams and her friend. You know, every golf girl got like a sunshiny friend. They can't stand some of the stuff they do, but that's their friend. Like, that's what that's giving. Because I'm like, oh, she got, and I was watching, like I said, Nightcap the other day. And she was talking about how now in her part of her career, she's enjoying her career, but certain stuff that she thought she couldn't do or she thought she had to live up to, she didn't have to do, like her robes. She was like, so much like, I want to wear pretty colors and stuff like that too. I want to, and shout out to the little girl that did her gear or designed it. What was it for? It wasn't Royal Rumble. It wasn't the Rumble last year. Was it? I forgot what PLE it was for. No, it was Women's Evolution. And she had the white with like the crayon and stuff like that. Ever since then, Charlotte been going off, okay, on the different colors. She looked like the daggone rainbow Barbie fairy princess people saying. To me, she was giving the little jump you do like this and they spin up that they had in the 90s. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. And then I was like, they look good. Okay. Look good. I said, one thing the women going to do on the PLE is show the hell out when it comes to looks and gear. Then after that, Irresistible Forces, Lash and Anaya come out, paying homage to Demolition. They look good, all white. They look good and have masks on. You know how good you gotta look to still look good with a mask on? Okay. Took the mask off, hair was popping. Lash, of course, had her colorful lashes. Looked good. Okay. Then I said, before Bayley and Lyra came out, because I saw their names, I said, Lyra gonna have wings too, because y'all know she do the Raven jump. Lyra and Bayley came out. They had their matching jackets that Bayley normally gets. Who the hell, Pam? Okay. I've been saying this for 3-4 years. Pam, who does your jackets? Girl, I know who does your boots because I follow him and he did your boots. He did Lash's boots. He did Anaya's boots. Who the hell does your jackets? Because now you got them making them for Lyra. Lyra and you had the same jacket on, but yours had the little flare jumps like you was a cowgirl, okay? I just want them to make me one jacket. Please stop gatekeeping this. I just want them to make me one jacket, okay? Like, who does your jackets? Came out, had the different looks on the gear, same colors. And then the Bella twins came out, and about to call her Bayley. Bree came out with her look. I was like, she look cute. As soon as Nikki came out and she had that purple hat on. I already knew what time it was. But she said, so, since I'm not cleared to compete, she was like, I brought a friend. And then Paige came out and people were so excited because they was like, she used to call herself the anti-diva. And then people was like, she was Rhea before Rhea, which was true. And people was like, she was, and then Cole was talking about something, nobody knew about this. And I said, literally everybody knew about this. And people put that in the comments. I said, I haven't been on Twitter in weeks. As soon as I opened it up, I wasn't even searching for it. It popped up on my timeline. I said, everybody knew about it. That's the worst kept secret since Bayley, Becky coming back. Everybody knew about it. Okay. And, people always say the four horsewomen changed the game. Bayley, Sasha, or Mercedes, Becky and Charlotte, which they have. They took it even a step further to have them have PLEs and stuff because some of them did high flying and all that. But for me, when I think of the women that catapulted the way, like outside of Jacqueline, stuff like that, the one from the Attitude Era, and then you had like Naomi and Alicia and all of them, and the Bellas, I think of Paige and AJ. Okay? Because then I would think of Charlotte, like all of them women from Charlotte and them on back. Because after Charlotte and them came, then we got Bianca, Io, Zelina, Rhea. So that's what I thought. So my prediction was, I thought Lash and them was retaining. I wouldn't be mad if Charlotte and Alexa won them back, but they just had a title on their vets. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I said my heart wants them to win, but I wouldn't be mad if Bayley and Lyra won. I said Lyra hasn't had gold since she lost it from Becky, and Bayley hasn't had gold, I don't think, since she was the women's champion from WrestleMania 2 years ago. So I was like, they could do that. So I honestly thought, and this is before I saw the video because it popped up after WrestleMania on my timeline, that Nikki was injured, but it wasn't as bad as she said it was. And they did that on purpose, kind of like a Seth thing, in order to bring Paige back. So, and one thing I liked about this match, I didn't like the result. Paige and I don't know if Nikki and Brie was going to win before Paige got there. I wouldn't been as upset, but Paige and Brie winning, I was like, what the hell? But I will say that you can tell, unlike an AJ Lee, or unlike Nikki, or unlike Brie, who's come back later and still got old moves or still not able to keep up more than a certain number of minutes, that Paige or Saraya has not been away from the ring that long. And you could tell because she went in there and got to work like she just stopped wrestling last week. Okay, we know she was in AEW. I can't remember how long it's been since that contract and this one, but it's evident that she wasn't away that long. And if she was away for a little while, she was still either practicing or, you know what I'm saying, just muscle memory. So when they won, the three of them hugged. Nikki looked happy, but not that happy. So somebody was like, watch them use Paige as a feud for her and Nikki. And then her and Nikki end up having this feud or whatever later on down the line. So now I'm like, Saraya's back. I know people won't want to see her versus Rhea, which Golf Girl's the best. I guess is going to be the theme. So the next thing was, I want to say it was AJ Lee versus Becky. because I had to rewatch the tag team match, and I think that was next. AJ Lee's entrance. No, I remember that because Becky, who came out first? I think Becky might have came out first because they said something about the Wonder Years, and I said, the TV show? And then a band started playing, and I said, oh. And I was like, I'm not into the punk rock world. I don't know. I only know the basic bands, okay? So I'm like, I wonder if they named themselves after the TV show. Second of all, when AJ came out with her little AJs and stuff like that, it made me miss Bianca, because I'm like, this is something Bianca's done. Bianca has done the Jump Rope Girls. Bianca has done the HBCU band. She has done the little ESTs coming out. So now we got the little AJ Lees coming out and whatever. Wade being on Becky's side because Jessica's there to do the match, which makes it even more hilarious. So they do the match or whatever. Becky's calling it. People are over this fight. It was like they don't need to feud no more. I had AJ Lee retaining. So they end up fighting. Becky ended up pushing Jessica. Jessica ended up pushing her back. I said, yeah, go ahead. I said, you need to. I said, let her know. Show her, okay? And Becky ended up like poking AJ in the eye or something like that, or hitting her with the turnbuckle that was open. AJ ended up losing. And after WrestleMania, she did an interview. AJ seemed like she was upset. She was like, she just wanted to come back and show people that she could do it, and she was going to take some time away. She go see a doctor and stuff like that. I know she suffers with mental health issues, or like bipolar thing. I don't know if it's that it's overwhelming or what the case may be. But honestly, I wanted her, because I was like, if she retains, she gonna be like a Roman type situation, which I'm not mad at. Like, if you have and fully disclose that you have mental health issues and stuff like that, like, do what you can. You know what I'm saying? Take time away, only come back when you need to. But I feel like AJ would have been better to do at least 2 more matches if she would have retained with other people. Like, we could have got her with Natty. We could have got her back with Maxine. We could have got her with Raquel, like with somebody. I said, okay, now that this is over, please give one of them 3 the IC championship for the women. Like, I'm tired of seeing the same people have a title, and I think it's because if they don't have a title, they have nothing special going on about them. Like, y'all notice that Gunther without a title, they don't be doing nothing with him. Or when he presents his like promos and stuff like that, he has nothing to offer outside of he's a good wrestler. Like, you can't do that in 2026. It's not hard to be like Undertaker said on Nightcap. He said, if you can get the talking thing down, the promos and all that, he said, I could teach you to be a good wrestler, or at least a decent one. He was like, it's harder to learn to cut a promo. So I'm like, yeah. So then, what else? So then my favorite match of the night is the one I was anticipating the most. Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Just cause. And I wish it would have been, because I said it last year when he had an interview with Cole. He was like, he was champion. This is what he wanted to do. But he ended up losing the championship. I think he had to have the shoulder surgery. So they had him lose it. Excuse me. They had him lose the championship. But I was like, he's finally getting it. It would have been better if they had the title. In my personal opinion, only because it would have given Gunther something to do other than him being the legend killer. Like, everyone, and it's not believable. That's the thing. Like, John happily tapped out with a smile on his face. He could have went for some more. Knew that wasn't going to happen. It's no way in hell, and I don't care I die on this hill that Gunther is beating AJ Styles in a wrestling match. Okay, there is no way in hell that was happening in real life. I saw that match live in real time, like, and then not with Seth either. So Gunther comes out and is all playing regular 80s, 90s, the robe, whatever. Then it goes in, because it played for so long, into classical mix. And I said, oh, I ain't never heard the whole song full blown out. I love me some classical, okay? Used to play clarinet in a band before I dropped the instrument and started doing vocals and playing a keyboard. Like, I love, if I want to listen to music and I don't want to hear nothing with words, I go straight to classical. Now kind of maybe lo-fi, but classical is my jam, okay? I used to sleep at night to it. So he came out, the boos, ensued, and then I was like, I want to know what Troy is going to have Seth in. Troy, Seth came out with the jacket kind of, but with a hood. So it was like, it's giving Blade or Matrix. Then I said, then he came out with the eyes. And first I was looking at the gear because I was like, I was like, the hell? I said, the eyes threw me off. I was like, Troy, what the hell you got? Because I'll tweet him and he'll either retweet me or he'll respond. I said, what the hell you got, Seth in? No, I didn't say Seth. I said, what the hell you got Kobe in? I said, that scared the hell out of me. Looking like something from like Insidious or The Exorcist. Like, what is happening? I already knew Seth was losing this match. And y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist, and it's only not worked once. I said this man has to have white or tan or gold or green somewhere on his gear, and he's winning. He had an all black. Was not winning. Hell of a match. He started off the rip. And I knew it was going to be a good match, because when you have, I said the story might not make sense, and I was like, it's last minute, but I was like, when you are a wrestler's wrestler, this is when it comes into play that storyline cool, but do you got the skills to back it up? And Seth is one of those well-rounded people. It's not a lot of him. Like, he could do promos and he could whoop your tail. Okay, he's one of those ones that could do both. Miz is one of those ones that could do both. Montez Ford is one of those ones. Bianca Belair is one of those ones. Jordan, my girls, all 5 of my girls. That's why they're my girls. Soul, Roxanne, Liv, Bianca, I always miss one when I go down the line like that. Jordan Grace. All of them women. Michin too. Michin is one of them ones. Her and Zelina, they could cut hella promos and they could whoop your ass. Okay? Like, if Jimmy tweaks his wrestling skills a little bit, he's like that. Drew's like that. KO is like that. Like, Sammy's like that. Like, all the other people are either really good at one and okay at the other, or they're like okay at both and they get by. But them people right there that I just named, they are phenomenal at both. So if you have a good storyline, you ain't got to be like, oh, the story was good, the leading up match was like with these two, you knew you was gonna get it. And now this is the match. This was my main event. This was my main event right here. They beat the hell out of each other. Gunther was in awe. Gunther had to pull out moves that he hadn't pulled out in a while. So did Seth. He tried to do a pedigree. Gunther reversed it. I was trying to figure out how the hell he did that as tall as he is. Okay? Like, and then the slap that you could hear across the world. You know what I'm saying? Then they said, Cole, I think, said something that Paul owes him a favor. So, I knew it was going to be a good match. I wanted Seth to win, but when I saw his gear, I said it depends on his gear. I knew he was losing. In the middle of that, Gunther was getting knocked out. Braun comes down full speed. Spears Seth, slams him back in the ring. I can't even remember if the ref saw it or not. Slams him back in the ring. The ref tells him to go on. Then Gunther chokes him out and he lays there or whatever. And then that's the end of it. See, now that one of Seth like tapping out or like laying there from that after the bronze spear, that's believable. The other two, not believable. Okay. So then after that, we had the announcers of the Hall of Fame ticket. Y'all, please stop making fetch happen. It's not going to happen. And I say that in the sense of anything with Hulk Hogan. He tarnished his legacy before he passed away by being such a racist. And people were showing like when he at the Hall of Fame that night that he got a bronze statue and somebody put up, he ended up being what he hated the most, a person of color. I cried laughing. Okay. It's funny as hell. And this is how I know the ICW and the fandom of wrestling is over it and over him. They announced the Andre the Giant, and it's sad because Andre the Giant, I heard, was such a sweet and a great and a genuine person that as soon when they announced the class of 2026 Hall of Fame, they announced the match first. It was silent as hell in here. It was silent as hell. Okay, then it went from that to the other people. Okay, all the other people that were announced. People clapped, and people don't even, first of all, some of these people are my age or younger. They don't even know who Demolition and like Bad News, like they don't know who these people are. They don't know who Dennis Rodman is. Like they was clapping for them. Ain't do nothing for when Andre and Hogan's match was announced. Didn't say a thing. Okay. Then this is why I say clothes make you look weird, because Cena in the suit, it made him look smaller. And then AJ came out. Someone said he got a silk press just for WrestleMania. And with his suit, it made him look like he got a gut. And we know this man got a six pack. And then Stephanie came out after. And I was upset too, because somebody was like, I'm not even done crying over the fact, or upset over the fact that AJ is a Hall of Famer and y'all bring out Stephanie. It should have been the other way around. And I said, y'all know why it's not the other way around. Even though her grandfather and her father helped build the company, that's not the reason why it's not the other way around. It's her man is the head of creative control. Y'all knew she was going to be out there last. She looked phenomenal. But if it was me, I would have did Stephanie first. I'm like, do you mind? And then had AJ come out last, because we were still cheering for AJ, and then they changed the music. Like, now, like I said before, AJ, you said you was going to join the TNA Hall of Fame when you retired. You retired. Go on over there and get your Hall of Fame from over there. And then someone said, who took a picture with him? Punk. Punk took a picture with him. It was like from rec centers to arenas to all this other stuff. We traveled the world together. He was like, he's going to make a bigger contribution outside of him in the ring versus now. I truly believe that, because he said he doesn't want to do like what Abyss and Triple H and all them are doing. He wants to do what like the people in the PC are doing. You know what I'm saying? I think X-Pac's worked in the PC. Like what all of those OGs are doing over there. Which makes sense, because when I finally watched this farewell thing and Ashley was crying and she was like, who am I going to talk to on my matches? His brain. Like when I think about the way people break down matches, the three people that come to mind on like what to do. Matter of fact, 4. And the fourth one might be surprising to some, is AJ Styles, TJ, or for some of y'all, Tyson Kidd, Brian Daniel or Daniel Bryan. Daniel Brian Danielson or Daniel Bryan, however you know him. And the fourth person, surprisingly, is Riddle. Matt Riddle. So, like, any of those four could teach you something in the ring. Like, I could see all of them being teachers of, like, professional wrestlers of how to get in the ring and this and the third. So then, when it comes to the next match was Liv versus Stephanie. So Liv comes out because, like I said, I haven't been watching SmackDown or Raw in a few weeks. She comes out with a new song. They asked her later after the match, was she gonna come and do music? She was like, I don't know. I said, that girl coming out with an EP. It's probably gonna be about 10, 12 songs, but she coming out with one. She came out and did like a whole choreographed thing. I said she wanted to be a 90s pop star, 2000s EDM star so bad, and that's my girl. But I knew it was giving music because all her gear is like Christina Aguilera inspired, and all this other stuff. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, she came out, did all that. Like I said, I haven't been watching, so I heard about the lump. But then I looked at her face and I said, what happened to her eyes? I didn't know like that caused her eyes. Cause I said, either she had, like I said, it looks like she either had allergic reaction or it looks like she had allergic reaction, or it looks like she ain't slept in 10 days. I didn't know she had 2 black eyes because of, what you say, the hematoma. Like, to me, that is crazy. Stephanie did her in. You hear me? So then Stephanie comes out and she looks gorgeous. She has the thing on. She has a bunch of confetti. It's giving like Dia de Muerto or another type festival. And I'm only saying that because of the train and all that Maleficent mixed in one. The train comes out. The train was beautiful. The thing had, I wonder if Miles Bourne was there at WrestleMania to support her this week. And speaking of baby and people supporting, Jay, where is your baby at? Okay, he normally at every PLE, and I know he probably got school, but he's at the age where he could fly by himself and sit next to the flight attendant if you want him to come and not miss school, or like you could send him back today or something like that. If you're, I don't know if she your ex-wife or if y'all separated or what the case is, since you dating Jada. I don't know what the hell that is. That's not my business. But I just wanted to see your baby on there, okay? He done became a part of the IWC family. It's certain people, kids, that's become a part of him, Libby, Jade baby. Like we done seen them on TV so much. Rue, we done seen them on TV so much. They part of the family now. Okay? The aunties and uncles wanted to see them, and he was not there. Okay? Also, yeah, so Stephanie comes out. They do their thing. Stephanie, Liv tried to hit him with the little, I forgot what the hell they call that. When she does her, Stephanie does her thing, she got hit. Stephanie hit Liv with the Oblivion. Didn't work. So then, of course, my girl Roxanne comes out. Raquel comes out. My predicament was they was going to lose because Raquel was going to turn and help Liv. Steph, and she ends up winning because of help. She was like, Stephanie said that I can't get it done without my friends, my Judgment family, she said, and she's absolutely right. And she starts laughing. And then Dominic comes out and hugs her and stuff. And then he's like, does he still have a title? I don't know if he still has, if he does, it might be a Triple A one, because I know he doesn't have the IC one. But he was like, you gotta face a demon tomorrow. I said, I know he's losing that match. Okay. He's definitely losing that match. Not unless Liv or somebody helps him. And the only reason why I say that, I'm gonna wait for my prediction one. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna say all that. But yeah. So she wins again. And I'm like, we need another women's champion. Like, I'm tired of seeing Becky and Liv is my girl, with the same championship. And it's like, at least with like Cody and with like Seth and stuff like that, they might have been intertwined with like bloodline stuff, or had Judgment Day stuff, and had to face like he faced Shinsuke a couple times, stuff like that. But after a while, after like the third time, we moved to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like Cody done faced Randy, he done faced KO, he done faced Roman, he done faced I think Drew, he's done faced is this in solo? Like, he done faced various people. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all keep having Liv face the same people. For a while it was Rhea. Now it's Stephanie. Like, and before that it was like Becky and Bianca. Then it was Becky and Rhea. Like, can we switch it up, please? It's more women than 5 women. Okay. Also, so then, like I said, John announces the thing. So then Bianca comes out. As soon as I saw her face, I knew she was pregnant. Also, what gave it away is she ain't have her braid. Then she ain't skipped down the thing. And then she stayed covered the whole time. I almost cried. Because I was like, girl, we miss you on TV so bad. And it's so bad that they miss her on TV. When they showed the 2025 playback of Royal Rumble before the 2026 Royal Rumble, Bayley even said, oh, Bianca, I miss her. She was like, we need you back on TV bad. If the women that work there is telling people we need her back on TV, we need her back on TV. So she was like, you know, you can't spell WrestleMania without EST. And we was like, yes. And then she was like, well, you need to count one more, because it's 50,817 people. And I was like, I was so happy and so upset at the same time. Just like with Naomi, I'm like, I'm happy because I know that she said that she's on top of her game. She didn't want to slow down. And at this point in her career, I didn't know if she had fertility issues, or they was just working so much that her and her husband did IVF, or like put some babies in the freezer. So she came out pregnant, and I'm like, now we ain't about to see her for 2 years. But I'm like, I'm also happy at the same time, because her and Tez are starting having their own little baby, even though he has 2 other kids. They're expanding their family. And I know her parents are happy because her mom's been asking for a baby for a while. But I'm like, it's just, and I was just so upset and happy. I'm like so upset. And someone said, I blame whoever broke her finger at WrestleMania of last year, because had she not broke her finger, she wouldn't have been home to have no baby. And I said, honestly, I kind of knew December was the first clue, and then Valentine's Day was the second clue, and then when they was on Nick Cannon and Courtney's podcast of We Play Spades, I said that was the icing on the cake. I knew she was pregnant, even though they dressed the same. I said, yeah, she's not a wrestler, so she doesn't have to get as strong. She can keep her thing and stuff like that. I said, but because somebody said they saw Bianca because she's not in the ring as much. And they said she's like a regular girl. She don't look at stuff. I was like, she probably ain't lifting as much. She can't do much with her finger. Excuse me. But I was like, it wasn't her that gave it away until I saw her face. I said it was Montez that gave it away. And so I'm like, she pregnant and still got abs. And I said, that's the part I'm jealous about, because I wish I would have still had abs when I was pregnant. Okay. I said, Montez gave it away. I said, because when we was like, where is Street Profits at? We haven't seen him on TV. They showed them at a live NXT thing. He had a little gut with him. So then Valentine's Day happened and he had the same thing. And she was like, don't worry about it. I just been feeding him. He been eating, da da da. And I said, no, because y'all got a gym in your house. That's not from you sitting at home not wrestling. You gaining pregnancy weight because he probably got the cravings and Bianca ain't got them. Because when you get pregnant, your man gets some of them symptoms. Like when I was pregnant, my son's father slept more than I did. And every time I got nauseous, he threw up. Like it's... So it's that. I was like, he gaining pregnancy weight and she not. That was the giveaway in December and in February. That was a giveaway for me. Okay. And then, so I was like, and then somebody was like, well, she said in the past, if she get pregnant, she wanted to be pregnant with her friends. They was like Naomi, her and Naomi. And I said, it's funny. I said, because Brandy and Cody done had a baby. I said, all within a year and a half, Brandy and Cody done had a baby. I said, Naomi just had a baby. Because Jay confirmed that on Hot One. Said, I like playing with your newborn. And then now Bianca pregnant. And I was like, this is crazy. And I was like, well, at least they'll grow up together. And Dawkins' wife is pregnant. Because he going to post on Twitter after talking about some weak pullout gang. LOL, that's it. I'm tired of both of y'all. And someone was like, arrest Jimmy and Montez because this is out of control. And somebody was like, if Jay ends up pregnant, I'm going to lose all my... And people argue about she mid or whatever. And I said, well, she said on the Joe Button podcast that her husband been trying to shoot up the club. And she been trying to avoid that because he tried to get her pregnant. And I was like, oh, Jesus, if all three of them end up pregnant again, I said, that would be uncanny. That would be an uncanny coincidence. But I was like, that's crazy. Also, yeah, so she goes out and then she posts the pictures. And my favorite comment under her picture was Rhea. Bitch, like, somebody said, Rhea, even though she's Australian Italian, she got an inner black auntie in her. Because when something at the backstage of somebody's PLE, she was like, so you look good, girl. Baby, you look good. So it was like, that her giving black auntie energy. And I said, as soon as she put I said, I read that in my voice. I was like, Demi, Rhea be okay. So the last match is Cody versus Randy. So first, Pat come out. People are booing him. Whatever. Then Randy comes out. The snake whole thing comes out. He looks good. He's one of the few guys that could probably, those videos that go viral where the moms leg wrestle their sons and the sons lose. He's one of the few that could probably leg wrestle a woman and win. His thighs is out of control. You hear me? Second of all, he came out, he did the music. Cole saying what he's saying about Pat was shocking, but not at the same time. It was shocking because he was like, Pat must have lost his mind talking about it. And I was like, y'all was like this, like work buddies. I said, now you tell. And then, so, yeah. And I was like, yeah, go off, Cole. And I said, he defended you against Gunther, but I was like, yeah, he out of pocket. So, I think my favorite entrance to come was Cody's that night. And I would say because it showed the CR. Excuse me. So I think this is when he came out, when he first started. It might have been also like when they was doing like the second generation thing. They showed him fighting Randy. Then they went to another clip of him with the mask. And he was like, don't look at him. This, that, and the third. Then when the Stardust showed, they showed the Stardust, the whole arena erupted. And I tweeted, and I was like, Cody has to realize that he was such a good Stardust. And I don't think he realizes that, because every time he talks about Stardust, people be like, I love Stardust. And his thing is, he don't think Stardust was that good. He doesn't see why people like Stardust. I got something in my eye. He doesn't see why people like Stardust as much as he does. And I think because at the time he was so over it, he didn't want to be like in his brother's shadow. Like, because his brother is gold dust. He didn't want to be in his shadow, so he resented the character. But even when she was like, his wife was like, I like Stardust. Stardust was a good character. And he was like, you the only one. I was like, no. I was like, Cody was fine. Especially, like, Cody looked good now, but I'm like, when he has original hair color, because when I first started back watching around that time, I was like, who is that? Like, I was like, I don't know who that is, but I know he fine. Okay. So, and then they showed when he first came back, the American Nightmare, but I was like, he needs to embrace the fact that he was a great Stardust. Like, I know you might have feelings because of what transpired during that time, and you walked out and left and all that other stuff, but that's one of people's favorite characters of you. Okay. So as soon as he comes down, before the bell even rings, Pat cheap shots Cody. So Jelly Roll comes out. And people are cheering. And then he holds down, Cody holds down Pat, and Pat gets flung through the table. The ambulance has to come and get him, take him to the back. Now Jelly Roll's like, now you go do you. Basically, make it a fair one-on-one fight. Cole in the background like, good, because you've been doing too much. Pat done lost his mind. Okay, first of all, shout out to Miss Sandra. Shout out to Christina. I think we follow each other on Instagram. Shout out to Kia. Kia does the beating on all of Cody's gears. So all that like eagle feather beating of the globe things, she does that. And I knew he was going to come out with a mask. I didn't know he was going to come out with a gold coat. That's what threw me off. But it looked good. Okay. So the fight was the fight. But surprisingly, they was like, Randy had pulled out some stuff from that he ain't used in a while. He has back issues. He pulled out like a suplex that his dad used to do, Bob used to do, Orton used to do so. But Cody, he even did the crossroads. I think he did the crossroads. Cody hit him with some questionable moves. Like he wasn't going to low blow him, he ended up low blowing him. So I said, my first thought was, if we lose this, are we going to get heel Cody? Like, are we going to get Homelander Cody? Because if you go to YouTube and watch the contemplation, how you say it, of Cody when he was on like ROH in Japan and TNA or Impact and stuff like that, and see him doing promos of him being like a heel or anti-hero, whatever you call it, those are so much more exciting than him being this Cody. So when he hit him with the low blow, I was like, oh, we getting, what's the name, Cody? So he did that. He ended up winning. I was so confused. So Lovely, I follow her on all social media platforms. I've noticed this before she became this whole social media thing. But I follow her on all social media platforms, and she said exactly what I was thinking. She was like, why have did we do all of this? All of this promoing. Is this the right plug? All of the whole Pat thing to bring him here, the whole situation of him going to be the 15th world champion or SmackDown champion, whatever the hell he's going to be, for Randy to lose and bring Pat in. And then Pat come down here in a neck brace, which had me crying, and a referee shirt on. So I was like, is he even legal? I was like, that's crazy. And also, Chuck or Charles, poor man, he gets involved with all shenanigans because every time he gets knocked out. But like, he comes down and he counts. Pat ain't no true heel. Let me tell you that off the jump. The reason why he not, even though he flips people off and stuff, and then his hair look more white to me. I was like, isn't it normally gray? I was like, it done got more white on my bugging. But I was like, if I'm on the side of Randy and I come down there in the ref suit, I'm not doing the standard count. He did the standard count. I'm doing 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Had to be ring. He champion. He won. So then when Charles come back too, we already got a new champion. You ain't do that right. So because you counted slow, Randy had arcade owed you. But that didn't make sense either, because he been for you this whole time. Come down with the little fake neck brace. Randy arcade owed you. And now what? Then he lose the title. Okay? He bleeding. When I was like, Cody even got the fresh color in his roots and stuff. I said, one thing his style is going to do is make sure his roots and stuff is good for WrestleMania. Come down, okay? With that, he got red smeared all on the side of his hair. I said, I hope that's his blood and not Randy's blood, because if it's Randy's blood, that's nasty. Okay? I don't want nobody else's blood smeared on me. Okay? Randy come down here. Found out so then Randy gets mad and hits him. He bleeding. So I'm like, that story didn't make sense. Not unless y'all let it linger on for something else. To go to Backlash or Clash in Italy, whatever, when this next, because y'all mixing dates and stuff up. What was the point in that? What was the point of y'all bringing Pat here and all this other stuff? But someone was like, Pat said if Randy loses, he's retiring from WWE. So I was like, I guess Randy's retiring from, not Randy. Pat's retiring from WWE. But I was like, didn't he kind of already? He gave up, like Cody said, and what Pat said in the past. You gave up because you couldn't handle the schedule. And Nathan wasn't even full-time. Like, not in the full-time sense as like the wrestlers. You only have to come on Mondays. And that's when they was fading out of the weekend house shows. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to. So, yeah, it was like, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that. Like, I was confused as hell. At least I'd rather be confused than my ending of my match be like the Cena and Cody one they had last year. Because I was pissed off and confused. But I was so confused. I was like, between that and the Jacob and Drew match, I was like, what the hell is the writing staff doing? I know some stuff is long term, but make it make sense along the way. Like, in the sense of certain stuff is long term, so we don't understand the story adds up, and we don't understand all the pieces because one piece might be missing out. And yes, this might be the case with this, but normally, if a story didn't add up, say the story Randy ended up winning, or something, or Jelly Roll comes out and tries to help Pat and helps with Pat, and then in some way, shape, or form, he accidentally blacks out and starts chokeslamming everybody, chokeslams Randy, and then Randy loses. And then Cody wins. That would make more sense. Then Cody RKO'ing. I guess the voice is in his head. And he RKO's Pat. And I'm like, what are we doing? Okay? Let me take my glasses off. I need to get my contacts back, seriously. But what are we doing? Pissing me off. Like, I need to take a nap too. I'm tired. What are we doing? Okay, what are we doing? Like, I'm not understanding it. I'm not. And this is the main reason why I stopped watching faithfully every week. Because I feel like Road Dogg should have been the only person that left. And yes, we have not seen Hurricane because he's helping with the writing. But if this is one of his stuff that he helped with the writing, Sean, you need to do better. Okay? I know you live somewhere here in the state that I live in. Shoot, do better. Don't represent. I'm not even from here. Don't represent this state bad with the writing. Okay? Like, the writing and stuff so terrible. And I'm Trinity's age. It make me want to go, when I go down there this summer to go visit my mama, go to the PC and just train and become somebody to be on the main roster, because y'all are getting my nerves. Okay, also, speaking of babies, I should have known that he was going to win, because every time he bring his wife, because I looked, I saw Brandy, and I saw Libby. And Libby is so cute. She has eyes like her mama and her granddaddy, rest his soul. But I was like, when is the last time Libby was at WrestleMania? And I said, was the last time she was there, did he win? Or did he lose? What you doing? Because I was like, if the last time she was there was 2 years ago when he beat Roman, then of course he's going to win. He's not going to lose in front of his baby, especially when she still doesn't completely understand. And at first she thought everything was WrestleMania. Now she thinks everything is, I forgot what he said, the dance, I think she said, and stuff like that. So, and then what did Brandy say when Chelsea was on there? Or Matt was on there? She said that every night they do like SmackDown or something before they go to bed. So, you know what else that caught me off surprise, aside from this during WrestleMania week, is Bayley did Lodestone for the independent women wrestlers in Vegas. And you know who was there? Aaliyah was there. Ray's daughter. And as soon as they had a crowd of picture like 4 or 5 women, I knew who she was. Is that her? He had his wife gave birth to the same baby twice. The only difference is he's a male and she's a female, because they look exactly alike. I knew who Aaliyah was out the grip. You hear me? Even without makeup on. But yeah, hopefully tonight the ending is better. I'm about to do my predictions video, and y'all tell me if y'all had some of the same thoughts I had. I'm really just going off the stuff off the top of my head, because I'll be trying to remember everything that it co-inspired. One thing I do remember, though, that I had to watch in a playback, or I don't remember, is when Charlotte got pulled out of the ring before page 1, and Nikki had hit her with the thing. She was like, oh, the crutch. She was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, that hurt for real. I was like, you could hear her saying that. And shout out to all the other champions and the independents. Like, Natty had beat Shayna I'm sad it's the last blood sport, so I won't get to see it if they have it next year. I was sad WrestleMania ended last year. The baby, dang, I can't think of his name. He's 14. He trains at the dungeon. His father had passed away about 5-6 years ago. He did blood sport. Carrion beat Zilla. I think Shotzi had beat Charlie, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen highlights of that match. I can't remember if she won or lost. And it was a lot of matches. Like WrestleMania brings out all the wrestling from other places, wrestling content, wrestling con, and stuff. And then when you live somewhere like that, like Ricochet and Dominic and all them live in Vegas, they ain't got to go nowhere. They ain't got to get no hotel. That's a good thing about having like a WrestleMania or PLE in your city. You ain't got to go nowhere. You be like, oh, I'm just leaving for the house. I can see my bed. And then if you do like people of color, I don't know if white people do this. I'm not white. I can't speak. But I know a lot of black people, Spanish people, Asian people. If I'm coming to your city where you live and we cousins, now unless I want my own privacy, I'm staying at your house. Like, if I got a friend or something that stay in Vegas, or a cousin that stay in Vegas, I'm staying at your house. I'm not getting no hotel. I'm not getting no hotel. Okay? And if I'm really popular on like the Bianca level, the Cody level, something like that, I'm not coming out. I'm gonna come out with shades on every day. I'm not coming out with. I'm gonna make sure me and everybody come out with shades on. So I only take them off when I get in the house, so I won't draw attention to you and your house, or people become like fake friends with you because we family. Like, no. But I ain't staying in no hotel. That's what black people do. Like, if I go to DC and I was famous, I'm staying at one of my cousin's house. I do that anyway. If I go to Florida, Orlando area, I'm staying with my mama. And because she lived between Florida and Tampa, if I gotta go to Tampa, even though I gotta drive out, I'm still staying with my mama. Like, if I go to Philly, I got family up there. If I go to Nashville, LJ's dad stay there. Like, I go to LA, I got a cousin that moved out there. I'm staying with people I know. Like, I'm not about, even if I gotta pay you to stay and rent your room out, I'm still paying you less than what I would pay to stay in a hotel. And I ain't gotta check out early. Okay? Because I can go hit up a Planet Fitness or something overnight while I'm up. And I ain't gotta try to check out late to go hit no gym up. I'm just saying. But anyways, be blessed because you are blessed. And have a great day. Love you all. Bye.